So were there 2 blasts or even more? Remembering Jim Ferguson's reply to that question and so many others who agree with him, we have to believe that it is true. Now, we know that it to be a slight exaggeration that everybody in town heard 2 blasts, because many people we interviewed who were inside the Murrah Building at the time heard no blast at all, and at first thought they'd been hit by an unexpected tornado. But many more on the outside, such as Michael Hinton on the city bus, heard and felt 2 definite and separate explosions. Here we have an opportunity for you, the viewer, to be an on-the-scene ear witness. At 9:02 on the morning of April 19th, there was a meeting going on in the conference room of the Oklahoma City Water Board, which was housed across the street and only 100 feet or so west of the Murrah Building. It was so close that people died there in the ensuing moments. Now here's a tape recording of that meeting that was taking place. You may decide for yourself how many blasts you are hearing amidst the pandemonium. We begin 9 seconds before the explosion.
With regard to this proceeding, basically there are 4 elements that I have to receive information regarding them.
We postulate that the pop, which can be heard 4.2 seconds prior to the explosion, is a detonator which failed to function. Explosives normally have a backup detonator. We propose that this is what triggered this blast. Experts have stated that the ANFO blast should have lasted 5 seconds. The recorder had an auto gain control which was activated by the intensity of the sound of the blast. The top of the sound was cut out for almost 10 seconds. Only overlapping explosions could have caused the auto gain control to remain engaged for this length of time. There was at least one other tape recorder operating in the vicinity that morning. An attorney was drafting a letter to his dictating machine at the time. Now, although the lawyer's office was farther away from the scene than the water board building, and the fidelity of the recording is not as good, the same details are obvious. A pop precedes the explosion by precisely 4.2 seconds on this one, too. This data, of course, is insufficient to reach any firm conclusion. However, it would seem apparent that an event which preceded the truck bombing by 4.2 seconds was recorded at 2 separate locations in Oklahoma City. This, coupled with the information recorded by the seismograph machines in Norman, should have been cause for further investigation. Dr. Charles Mankin is the man in charge of the Oklahoma Geological Center at Norman, which is 16 miles south from downtown Oklahoma City. His credentials are impeccable. His knowledge of the celebrated seismogram from 9:02 a.m. on April 19th may be surpassed only by that of his colleagues, Drs. Ken Luza and Ray Brown, who also just happened to concur with Dr. Mankin. In layman's language, something happened in that event to cause 2 separate bleeps of some 5 seconds each to appear on the seismograph.
So having that kind of information was puzzling as to why you'd have 2 separate events that gave virtually identical signals.
Dr. Mankin explained that he and his colleagues believed this to be caused by subsurface structures creating a delay in the signal's travel time, thereby reflecting a mirrored event. However, he was quick to point out,
so while that explains the rationale for the 2 different signals, we're still left with the issue of how do you explain the duration of each of those signals.
the seismic evidence combined with the audio recordings points to a dual explosion larger than possible with a single ANFO bomb. This precludes the theory of McVeigh and Nichols acting alone, unless it can be proven that one or the other was inside the building that morning.